Hey guys, it's Ashley Bornancin here with the Red Carpet Report. We're at Disney Studios today on the set of TNT's show Perception, catching up with the cast and getting some sneak peeks on season 2.
All right.
Hello.
Hi.
My first question is, does it matter to you which character you're playing in the way you play it?
That I'm schizophrenic as well. No. Playing
But,
different
like-
characters. No. I
Because
mean,
they're similar
they
so
are
far. They're very similar.
well, this is what the challenge was for this part, was that they're essentially the same person, right? So you're looking at what his perception of the person is, but you're essentially the same person. So you're dealing with his hallucination, which he's created as her as one way, what he'd like her to be, and then who she really is. So normally if you're playing two different people, they're two different people, but she's essentially the same person. So what are the differences? So there's subtle differences. So I make decisions as an actor, physically she's a little different, and then
I was like,
June
we need
helps you with,
We need like a what is the movie with the? If he has the
Very
touch,
perception.
reality.
yeah.
Oh.
Well, Carolyn's a little more uptight.
Right.
Is that why, we see the hair
Well, she's
down?
a doctor, and she's got a little more, Natalie's a little more.
Which character do you like playing better?
Oh, I like playing them both. I mean, I like the relationship of Natalie, because that was the first relationship we did. So that was it was a really lovely, relationship with two characters. Carolyn's interesting too. It was just challenging on that level because it's the same flavor, but it's not. It is.
Did you know all along that you were going to show up as a real human? Because
No, I
I
had
feel
no
like
idea.
no idea. Because I knew in that pilot that she wasn't real, but I had no idea that.
Oh, well, I
she
knew
was
she
gonna
wasn't
show up.
real, but
Right,
I didn't
but-
know she was going to show up.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that was a twist I did not see coming.
Didn't know.
Do you think she's ever going to address Caroline? Like, you know how she just talks to Pierce?
Right. Well, how would
Yeah, I mean, she wouldn't talk back, I guess, but, yeah.
I mean, there's still going to be some interesting things about that come up in a different situation without spoiling it.
Okay.
Are you filming me while I drink this? Guys are
As long as you don't address that as Mr. Geyser.
So do you guys ever talk, like you said, one of your characters is more based on perception of Pierce's character seeing her. So do you guys ever talk and say, you know what, like, I think he's seeing her like this? Do you guys ever talk about that? Or,
in terms of when you're doing scenes?
yeah, in terms of how you're building Natalie.
Well, what do we talk about? I mean, there's always discussion about the scenes. Like sometimes, the other day we realized that to break, like if I'm touching him, there was one episode where, and ultimately that probably doesn't work because I'm exist in his mind. So then, to the audience, how it would appear is that he's kind of suspended in midair.
Right.
You were going to really. Now, it doesn't mean he can't imagine himself being touched and hugged and those kinds of things, but we kind of found out, well, maybe there's always got to be kind of a distance because I exist in his mind. So we do have discussions about what works and what doesn't work, because it's a whole, I mean, I've never done that before. I'm usually you're a person, you walk around and tables are real.
Yeah.
Glasses. But I can't really, this funny, we did a scene the other day and I, went to pick up a wine and I said, I can't pick up the wine glass. Just as a joke at the end of the scene, I just said, oh yeah, okay, I'll just take the wine glass, and there was a button on it. I can't really explain it because it'll spoil what's happening, what's going to happen. But it's like, oh, that would be a funny moment, but I can't touch it because otherwise the object would be essentially floating through the air, and I mean that would, we're not doing a sci-fi show.
We just met the doctor in the finale, or maybe it was the second one. We don't know her that well. Are we? How is she going to add to the series this season? What can we expect from her?
Well, you'll find out who he chooses.
So it will become a competition between the two, in a way.
In a way, yeah. Who's Pierce like more?
Are we going to see more of, like Caroline's like, I mean, she's got to be getting mad that eventually, right, that, hello, I'm not the hallucination. you gotta choose
Well,
me.
I'm sure it's frustrating, but it also switches up because you come in as a doctor, and so that's what you do. That's what your specialty is, and then so you have you have a real understanding of what the issues are, what the problem is, and then suddenly you're involved, and so then what you think as a woman then comes into play. So I'm sure there's a lot of conversation that goes on. There's the doctor on this shoulder, and then there's her woman's side on this. So there's dueling conversations happening there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Will she get to get involved in any of the cases as the season progresses?
Yeah, I just act in the show.
Well, because right now it's
No,
kind
there's
of a
like
side
you
thing.
get this sheet,
Right.
spoiler alert, right? So
You gotta be careful.
yeah.
Well, can you give us a little teasy answer to that, or it would just give too much away?
Well, it's not that, I mean, it's hard for those characters probably to get involved in the cases. I think, she might end up visiting something that at some point, but I think in terms of, that doesn't really fit into the structure of the show, Yeah. Because I'm all about the relationship part of his.
Right.
Of his
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
right?
The last season it
Yeah.
was like a separate.
Yeah.
It was almost his check-in. Well, was it with the fake one?
Yeah, no, like,
Not the fake
See,
one.
you're
but-
confused. We're all
Yeah.
confused. The fake one.
But that to me, watching the premiere was one of the things I thought most about is, is she real from the beginning of the episode, and then how do you know which one we're looking at? How are we supposed to know? And maybe we're not.
Well, in the beginning we weren't supposed
Right.
to. That was the.
But as the season progresses, like, do we know who we're talking to, or is that part of the game?
No, you will know.
You do.
okay.
You will know who he's talking to. But in the first episode, there are moments where he doesn't know who he's talking to, right?
Right.
So the audience, that's fun for the audience.
So is there anything that's been spilling over from the show of just, what you're learning, about, especially about the human mind? Was it AJ or something in one interview that said you learn something from every episode? Is there anything that's been spilling over into your real life, just the way you're perceiving people?
Well, when we read the scripts, they always come up with these, for lack of a better word, as an affliction, something that somebody's suffering from. And that exists, So in that sense, yes, we do learn something. But I always learn something when I'm acting. I think that's why it's a fun job.
Yeah.
Because you have to go in and figure out how people behave themselves, and just there's all kinds of types. There's human behavior, and how people sit, and how people walk, and how people use their voices, and how all of that comes into play. If somebody's having an uncomfortable conversation about something, somebody's foot will start to go. There's these little idiosyncrasies that can happen without dialogue, that just come out through the body. So I think you always learn things and how to communicate that to an audience that makes it interesting.
Is there anyone you're taking from real life, or just doing any research on how you're building your characters?
Well, I don't exist.
Am I talking to an hallucination right now?
No, I don't exist. Yeah, no, it's not. What it was, instead of more doing research in terms of now, it was just more about making decisions about how do you play somebody that doesn't exist. Because I'm always an aspect of his point of view, right? So am I being supportive in a scene? Am I sort of reprimanding him in a scene? Am I, kind of cajoling him in a scene? Like, what is it that he needs in that moment in his psyche? And that's really what Natalie does. Because I'm just an aspect of him. So I'm not, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's very kind of cool and, I don't know if cerebral's the word, but grounding for him.
But she would be. He's
Right,
a schizophrenic.
yeah.
So that was the other thing that I had to bring to the table with the character, is that she is always the person, the go-to, when he needs to figure something out, or he needs comfort, or, whether he's watching a Cubs game or whatever he's doing, like he's just hanging out. Or if he feels guilty, sometimes she'll pop up in second season,
Okay. If it's always what he wants her to be, would she ever fight back? Would
I
they
think
ever
she
get
does
into
in his
fights?
psyche. But you have to. So, but I'm always playing things from his point of view. So I don't come into scenes as a, you know, here I am, your wife or your girlfriend or your friend, or you know, and I'm coming in
As a human.
As a human, I'm always either that's what he needs in the moment. So if he needs to be someone to say, hey, I don't think you should be doing that. That's what he needs in the moment. So that's always what Natalie's doing. He's always satisfying what he needs in the moment.
As the doctor, have you gotten to lose your cool at all? Or does she also have that same kind of, I mean, it's kind of her character that she's...
But she's approaching it from a woman's standpoint, who's falling in love with the doctor.
Which is why I'm asking, like...
So she, you know, like, well, hey, wait a second. I don't know how this is going to work. There's a lot of people in this room. There's one girl too many. I don't know. But, you know, that comes into it. But that's what's interesting about, I mean, as a doctor, here you are trying to be professional and everything. And then so you have a real understanding of schizophrenia and all the things that go with it. And then yet you're falling for this doctor. And then what happens?
Are we going to be seeing the effects of their relationship throughout the episodes? Are people going to find out, you think?
Well, it'll get revealed about what happens. I'm going to talk to Ken. I'll get in trouble.
But that would have been fun to, you know, to make that shift from only really being able to be in scenes with Eric and only having him be able to
It's
make
very
eye contact with
isolating.
you.
I don't get to talk to anybody.
And now you can have other people, you know, as the doctor. Other people
Really
can
though,
actually
you probably
look
don't
you in
get
the
to
eye
see
now.
them a lot.
No, I just work with Eric.
Yeah.
I didn't get to talk to RJ, or you know,
It's like the first time you're meeting him right now. No, I'm just
Well, because in the beginning at least, they're keeping even the real relationship as a secret. So...
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting, there's also technical things that happen as playing somebody that's not real, because there's the way you have to shoot things of me actually not being in a scene, but I'm there, but I'm not. So there's a whole technical aspect to this that is very different as well. But to answer your question, I mean, yeah, I don't really get to act with anybody but Eric, because nobody sees me. So when I become Carolyn, there's a scene where I do actually get to speak to other people. And that's
So they're going to
nice.
come out with
Not
the
that I don't
relationship.
love working with Eric all the time, right? I mean, you know, there are worse, you know, I mean, I love going to work and I get to work with Eric, but it's just that, yeah, it's good. That's who I always act with.
Yeah, because even if anybody else walks by, they can't
They
look
can't see
in the
me,
eyes.
then
So.
I don't see
Oh,
them.
that's funny. I forget.
I mean, in his mind, I know they exist, right, as a hallucination, but no, I'm not interacting with them.
Wow.
It's crazy, isn't
Yeah.
it? Well, it's a crazy show, right?
So, did someone approach you with this role? How was the process in you know?
Well, ironically, what had happened was I was actually in Toronto at the time, and because I go back and forth because I'm Canadian, and
Didn't know that.
yeah, so I happened to be in Toronto, and I guess they had been looking for a while, and I had worked with Eric on another show many, I won't date myself, years ago, and so I think because I'd worked with his wife actually on a show before I knew Eric.
Wow.
So I knew everybody. So I think that when I came in and had a meeting, it was kind of like old home week, you know? And so, because we've known each other for a long time. So maybe it felt like to the producers that I could actually live in his head.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of
Yeah.
even if she were real, which she's not, I mean, that's the vibe, the relationship is they're old.
Yeah. And he's Canadian. I'm Canadian.
You guys are all so was he the one who was like, oh, I have an idea.
I don't know the answer to that, but but when I got the call and yeah, I'm sure it was run by him. I'm sure as an executive producer because I'm gonna work with her. Right?
Yeah, I guess so.
So yeah, but I guess he didn't, so that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
'Cause then-
So, the first season was like, what, a year ago, right? Almost?
Well, no, we did the pilot in 2010,
Okay.
and then
Wow.
we did
Wow. Time flies.
Well, because cable's a little different schedule. than
I was going to say, so like,
So
what
we
is
had
the
a whole
process
year
for
in
you
between first season and second season.
Wow.
What was it like to come back, especially because so much has changed for your character in that finale?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like we've been gone that long because the time
Really?
goes by. So
So what do you actors do on your your breaks? Like, what do you do?
What do we do?
Hang out in Canada?
Well, I'm a mom, so that takes up a lot of time because I have a 5-year-old. So yeah, and so I have not been working as much because I made a conscious decision that for me, I just know how many hours it takes when you're carrying an hour of drama.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have seen her. So I decided that I was going to take a lot of time off of after my other show. I was lucky enough that I was able to do it first of all, because not everybody has that luxury, but I was able to take a lot of time. So I've been doing that. And then I did a little film with a director that I worked with 10 years ago. And I went up to Saskatoon in minus 21-degree weather.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh wow, that was tough. Yeah. We all got sick. It was crazy. But that was a really nice little project to do. It was just a little independent film, and it was like working with a little family.
Yeah.
Besides being cold, but
That's my
it was
memory
fun.
of Vancouver.
Yeah.
Cool.
But David Elliott was in it, and Kim Coates, and there was a young kid from England who was the lead who did a terrific job. And so I went and did that. But other than that, I was just kind of.
Do you,
I've been knitting
This role
elephants
must
and
be
bunnies
ideal
and
for you
things.
because she's an integral part of the story, but
I get to be a mom.
Yeah.
you're not there all the time.
yeah.
No, it's great.
Do you still keep in touch with any of your castmates from any of your other shows?
I do. I do. Mindy and I talked a couple of days ago. I
Okay.
played Julie Hooper.
I was going to say, I was going to bring up the OC. That was like one of my favorite shows
Yeah, it
growing
was
up.
fun. So periodically we kind of collide, but everybody's, everyone goes off and they're working 16 hours a day, right?
Yeah.
But it is strange to when you're on a show like that and you spend so much time with people, and then
I went on for so many years, yeah.
But it was just ironic because Mindy and Peter ended up doing shows in Toronto, and their families, and I'm here from Toronto. It was funny. We were laughing about that. But no, everybody's seems to be doing well, and I have talked with.
Do you ever talk to like Adam or anything?
I haven't talked to Adam, but I've talked to Ben, Peter, and Mindy.
Okay.
And I haven't talked to Misha.
With the kids, is it interesting to watch them doing
Oh no,
other
now
stuff?
they're men.
I know, that's what
I know.
I'm saying. Like, they
He's
were
a
kids, so it's an
man.
issue to
Well,
watch
they
them
were
do
20
these other, they weren't
23
kids then.
when I met them. They were babies. They were like little yummy.
Been on Southland
Yummy
now.
babies.
Yummy
that
babies.
cop.
Now they're like oh,
Tough guy,
Yeah,
yeah.
bad tough guy. You know what I mean? It's like, what happened? You grew up.
Yeah. I have to say that show set kind of the scene of the rest of the country, because I was in the Midwest at the time. That's how the rest of the country started to see California,
Yeah,
because of
sure.
the OC.
It's an age thing, because I think we're, in my generation.
I'm 23, so
Yeah. No, it was a
you're
lot
like,
of
no.
fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It was a very good chapter in my life, and
That's
I'm
awesome.
very blessed that I was able to do that. So,
Yeah.
And again, a position where you could kind of,
Oh no, those
Be
hours,
integral.
no,
That was
no,
awful.
that was different.
that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was, no, we were full on.
I was gonna say you were
We were
heavily
there
in that
a lot.
show.
And
Yeah.
there was a lot of requirements outside the show too.
Right.
So,
That's
because
kind of
of the
hot
nature of the
zeitgeist.
show. So yeah, so that was good that I didn't have my
Kid
Little
yet.
baby.
baby.
Cool. Well, congrats on season 2.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank
Yeah, I'm actually, your characters are one of the ones I'm most curious about how they'll, because that was, in the premiere one time, and I was like, I really hope he's really having sex. But then the great twist was that moment, it did happen.
You have
but
to
it wasn't
understand what's
like-
really great about the relationship is that if you notice on all the shows, as soon as the couple gets together,
It's kind of boring.
it's kind of,
Yeah.
But not this one, because
so, but
so
they
mental.
can't ever
Natalie spices it up.
consummate.
Yeah. You really, and what's funny was, I was thinking about that, I'm like, so did something just happen? Like, they're obviously in bed.
Nah, we don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was he
Thanks for watching the Red Carpet Report. If you like this video, be sure to like it, and for more interviews, subscribe. And be sure to watch the season premiere of Perception on June 25th.